Okay, so it's time to give the update on the 4 mile race that was back on July 4th. So today it's Saturday, I think it's the 22nd. Yes, the 22nd. So um, the most important metric from that race is I am still alive. As far as the official results goes, the I finished in 58 minutes 59.1 seconds. So was I the last person to finish? No. Overall, out of 150 people, I was 145th. I was the last guy to finish by like 8, 10 minutes or something like that. So I have a long way to go, but overall it was a great experience. I do remember as I was going through the race, I had grossly overestimated my plan for as far as the my run walk intervals. I had set my watch to run for what was it? Run for 3 minutes, walk for 1 minute, and that seemed reasonable to me at that time. And that didn't last like four intervals. By the time the fifth run interval came in, that running 3 minutes at a time, just it was just out of my head at that moment. It just wasn't going to happen. So I switched to whenever my watch said to run, I started running, and then I switched to walking whenever I felt I needed to, and I walked until it said to run again. So at least the intervals on my watch, even though I didn't hold to the times, they were still useful as far as spurring me on and getting me to keep running. Otherwise, I might have just walked longer than I really intended to. So the course setup was it was a 2 mile out and back, so 4 miles total. It wasn't a circuit, so you ran out 2 miles and then you ran the 2 miles back in. And I remember as we were lining up, the group that organizes the race, they work closely with another group that deals with disability awareness. I don't know the specific disability that this group works with, but there was like 8 to 10 wheelchairs that were lined up at the starting line, and they were going to be pushed the length of the race, and they were given a 1 minute head start. And I remember standing there thinking, going, I wonder if it's possible that I'll be able to catch up to the wheelchairs. The short answer to that is absolutely not. They were gone. If it would have been a circuit instead of an out and back, I never would have seen them again. But I did see them again because they passed me on the way back. So, but that that was it didn't matter. What was important was that I was able to finish. Um, I did have issues when I got back, though. I mean, I felt fine during the race, obviously tired, but when I crossed the finish line and I stopped, I did have an issue with lightheadedness, and I think this comes down to low blood pressure. Um, but in addition to lightheadedness, imagine if you know how if you rub your eyes too hard, you get what these it does. It's not real light, but it seems like you've got this bright area in your vision. If you imagine your vision being like a screen, and now shatter that screen, and in all of the cracks, you've got that kind of light that's just shining through. That's what I saw for the duration of my lightheadedness, and this lasted for about 30 to 45 minutes after the run was over. So, um, looking back, it probably, and it's obvious now. It did not cross my mind at the time. It would have been a good idea to sit down when that happened, but I did not. And given the fact that we were on a parking lot, that would not have been a soft landing should I have happened to have passed out. So, not exactly the best decision making on my end, but in all fairness, I wasn't exactly in the best state of mind right then. But it's something to acknowledge and to remember going forward. If I was about, I almost said if I do this again, and we're getting there. I'm definitely doing this again. So, but after 45 minutes, after I had gotten something to eat, and I mean, I felt fine. And then so the race started at 7 in the morning. I was done just before 8, or right around 8. And by the time that they had passed out awards, and by the time we got home and I had gotten showered and I started to feel better, I was looking at about 9:15, 9:30. So it was already still early in the morning. And what what I liked is the fact that once I got my shower and I got out, I felt fine. I wasn't done for the day, which I thought was going to happen given my shape. I thought that I would run the race and then just been so exhausted that my day is just over. I'm going to be laying in bed sleeping for the rest of the day. That just didn't happen. I didn't want to run anymore, but I still felt fine. I went to my brother's house. We enjoyed the day. So, um, even if I was the last guy to finish, I got something more out of that. I got motivation just to keep going. I got a time now that I want to beat now. So I'm not fiercely competitive with other people, but I am with myself. So I absolutely want to see these times and just acknowledge that, okay, this is where you were. I want these times to get progressively shorter as time goes on, obviously. So now, what I did experience was in the starting about a week after the race. So that later on that weekend, that Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember what day it was exactly. Um, I didn't. I was still doing my half-hour morning runs every couple of days, or every. I wasn't every day, but it was like every other day. I had been doing that since the beginning of June. And after a couple of those runs, I noticed that my especially my right knee started to ache, and that didn't happen during the race, and it didn't happen in the month before. So what I think is happening is Newton's third law of motion is taking the wheel here, and my body is having to just acknowledge this and say, look, um, even if you want to keep running, you need to take a different route to get there. You can't keep doing this every day and expect the body for the joints to hold up, especially with what I still weigh. When the race was run, I was about 275 pounds. Uh, Yesterday, the scale teased me at 269.4, but today it was 271. But that's I understand weight's going to fluctuate for various reasons over time. Um, I'm not even though I do want to get down to, I want to see what I look like, what I feel like at around 220, 200. I'm not pinning a date to that, saying I have to be this weight by my 46th birthday or by the next summer. I want the beach body. I'm not trying to go out for that. Um, I'm just I'm in it for the long haul now. So um, the weight's going to come off. I want to establish good habits, and my goals that I would have set are going to be naturally met along the way. And even if I were to set a goal now, 6 months, 8 months, a year from now, that goal may change, and I may just redirect towards something else. But so I'm not setting any hard goals. I want to establish good habits, and then the as the weight comes off, that'll make anything I do after that easier. So I am cutting the running out for now. Um, I still want to run in races. So what am I replacing it with? I'm still going to be doing my walking. I want to average a minimum of at least 10,000 steps a day. I'm actually averaging closer to 12,000 steps, but I want to be walking every day. But as far as something aerobic to keep me moving like running did, um, something else has got to take its place, and I'm going to replace it with a few things. Um, I have a gym membership to, so I'm going to start uh, uh, rotating in using elliptical machines, um, the stationary bikes, and the gym that I'm a part of. They did not have real rowing machines up until a few months ago. They obviously have them now, which I am ecstatic about because I've really wanted to start using them. I'm not talking about the rowing extensions you would get from the seated row pulls that you would have from a weight bench or the Smith machines or the so, but this is an actual rowing machine where the seat moves forward and backwards and the leg is actually doing most of the actuating motion in addition to the pulling. Uh, so walking, elliptical, stationary bike, and the rowing machine. Now I was worried about the the stationary bike because I was having problems before with getting on the bike, pedaling, and then 5 minutes hadn't even gone by before cramps just started sinking in and just would force me off the bike and get me to to just stop pedaling, and I just have to walk it out for the next 15-20 minutes or so. That hasn't been my experience in the last week or so since I started this. And I think it has something to do with the fact that I did start taking vitamins. So I'm I've got a multivitamin that I'm taking, but it's like B12, vitamin C in the morning, and in the evening I've got calcium, magnesium, and zinc that I've been taking, and in addition to glucosamine and chondroitin that my doctor had recommended, didn't prescribe anything to me, but recommended, you should probably try this. And look, I am not a doctor. I do not propose, I'm not trying to say that I know the best thing medically for me, but I'm trying. I have had a doctor that recommended to me this to me in the past, and I'm going to take a suggestion. So, um, one other thing that I want to see about replacing my it, actually getting into my activity is to start yoga. So something I've seen posted where people making threads about what is one thing that you wish you would have started years ago, or what is something that you have started that has benefited you as you've gotten older. And one of the things that I've seen come up again and again is the mention of yoga. And given the fact that I am 275 pounds or 270, whatever, um, the just having some type of mobility, flexibility, sessions that I work into my life is can't be detrimental to what I'm doing, and I can only expect that I would see some benefit from it. So that is something I'm going to be working in. Now, when exactly I'm going to do that, I don't know. I don't plan on starting by going to a gym. I'm probably going to start just by watching some channels on YouTube that I've seen recommended as far as introduction to yoga. But once I get into it and I feel it's financially feasible that I can start working this in, I do want to go to some classes and actually have an instructor. So if I'm doing something wrong, an instructor's there to correct me when I'm doing in my form or whatever I'm doing. So, even though I'm not going to be running regularly anymore, there is a 5K race that is in November. I don't remember if it's at Halloween or it's sometime in the month of November. It's called the Turkey Trot, but I don't know if it's around Thanksgiving. I know it's somewhere around November-ish. So the my goal is to drop some of the weight. I think the weight is probably is going to be the biggest factor in my improvement between now and then. I mean, I do the 4K race that I did, 4 mile is longer than 5K. So I did get a 5K split time during that race of about 45, 46, somewhere around there. High 45, but below 46 minutes. So even though it wasn't a 5K race, I do have a 5K benchmark that I want to take into this race in November. So that's my plans for now. As far as how frequently I'm going to be uploading, I just don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be incorporating into. I mean, I've got some ideas of things that I would like to try, but I don't know how far off in the distance those are. So, but when I think I have something worthy of uploading just to remind myself in 2-3 years from now of what I was doing and what I was struggling with, or what I was able to accomplish after a certain amount of time, then a video would go up for that. So still working on trying to figure out how to edit videos appropriately. So I don't know how long that's going to take me to really get proficient at that. But on the first video that I posted on the I don't remember what day it was, beginning of July. My brother did make a comment that if I wanted to make the editing an easier task, just do it in one take. And I know he made that comment very tongue-in-cheek. But if you want to know what a video of mine would look like in one take, it would look like this one right here, because there were no cuts here. So I would like to say that this was done on the first attempt, but it wasn't, because I actually recorded this video 4 days ago. On Tuesday, I had it finished. I was uploading the video. YouTube was saying that the upload is taking longer than usual. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I will go to bed. It will finish uploading. I woke up the next day saying that it did not finish uploading. I went to check the video. It said the video was corrupted, and even my copy of the video online, or not online, on the laptop that I was using, I should have checked the video. I don't know what possessed me not to check it. I just assumed it worked, because all my other things that I had recorded for my classes, they were working fine. But for some reason, my computer decided recording audio was optional. So it was just 20 minutes of me just sitting there talking with no audio. So it was unusable, and I was like, look, future me is going to worry about this. We'll deal with this weekend. So this is technically take 2, but there are no edits here. But so like I said, don't know when new videos are coming up, but when I think that there's something worth posting, then they'll come up. So I guess we'll just see you then.